Hi everyone! Hello, nice to see you all today. Right, we are going to get started. So if you can have your child lying down on the floor, and today's session is all about Old MacDonald and farm animals. So we're going to start off with shoes and AFOs off and lying on the floor. I'm going to just make a couple rearrangements so you can all see us a bit better. There we go. Okay. Hello, Dave and Lucy. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some walking around the farm to see what animals we can find. So lying on our back, we're just going to do some stumping with our legs. Good morning, Charlotte. Okay, and we're going to walk all around the farm like this with our legs to see what animals we can find. We've got loads and loads of different animals today. I'm going to move this up so my head is in it. There we go.
Drew and Lucy, not Dave.
Drew and Lucy. Hello, Drew and Lucy. Sorry, I got your name wrong. Right, okay. So if your child has high tone, then what you want to do is bring both legs up together and bend at the hips, and then bring your legs down, and then hopefully that will make your child's legs bend a little bit more. If they're really, really stiff like this, then bend all the way up from the hips, like this, and then you should be able to bend both legs together, okay? And don't push past resistance, and make sure that your child is not in any signs of pain or anything. Good morning, Joshua. And then when your child has nice and loose legs, then we're going to do some walking through the farm, one leg at a time. Good morning, Ella. Nice to have you with us today. Okay, so some nice, gentle stepping through the farm. It's a very rainy day here in London, so there's probably lots of mud on our farm. So one leg and the other leg. And we're just going to do 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mum and Dad, keep your back straight. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow. Well done, everyone. Good morning, Sinead and Heidi from Manchester. Hello. Okay, right, the next thing we're going to do is we have come across a puddle and we need to avoid the puddle. So that we don't splash all over our legs, we're going to bring our legs apart like this, okay? Now, you want to keep your child's legs straight at their knee, and then we're going to bring one leg to the side, holding above their knee, okay? So we're not bringing bottom of the legs out, we're making sure we bring all of the legs out from the top, okay? Now, if you've got a bigger child, what you might need to do is bring their legs around one of your legs here, okay? And again, don't push through any resistance. You're just going to go as slowly as you need to, especially if your child's got lots of stiffness. Just going to move down. Hello, Esme. Hello, Esme. Hi, Lila in Belfast. Wow. Hello, Olivia in Essex. Nice to see you all today. Hello, Natalie and Finley. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring those legs apart to avoid that puddle, okay? So get your child's legs nice and straight to start with. So if they're a bit bent like this, put a little bit of pressure above the knee and bring it down straight, and the other one, and then you can slowly bring those legs to either side of your knee. If your child is super bendy, then you can put 2 knees here and bring those legs apart like that. And we're just going to hold it there to avoid all of these super muddy puddles, okay? So hold your legs out to the side. We're going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Now, Mum and Dad, if you can, we're going to try and get those legs a little bit further apart now that they are nice and warmed up. So again, make sure your hands are above the knees, and you're just going to bring those legs a little bit further apart, and you can help that by bringing your legs a little bit further apart just to get a bit more of a stretch. And we're going to hold it there, and we're going to do another 10. We've got so many puddles to avoid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. Well done, Lily, working very hard. Okay, right, the next thing we're going to do, on this farm, we have found some ducks. Okay, we've come across a pond and we found some ducks. So the next thing you need for this one, if your child lies on their tummy on a wedge, then you need the wedge, or otherwise we can use a pillow under their chest, or if your child normally lies on their own, then you don't need anything. Okay, so we're going to come into side lying. So don't do this yet, let me show you. We're going to have the cushion on the side at this height, so under your child's arms. Arms are going to be above the cushion. We're going to bring up the leg away from the side we're rolling towards. Make sure this arm is out nice and straight or up above the head, whichever one is easiest. And we're going to help your child roll from their knee and from their hip, and we're going to roll over onto the cushion. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to help you do that together. We're going to do this all together. I'm going to try and find the right position. Okay, so your child is lying on their back, and we've got the cushion here, or the wedge. Make sure the wedge or the cushion comes up here. If you've got a much, much bigger child, you might want to lie them on their back on the wedge and then turn them over on their front. If we're rolling from your side, we're going to go one leg up and bent, and you're going to help your child from their knee and from their hip, and all together we're going to roll over and on to your front. Okay? I'm going to give you all a little bit of time to do that. And when your child is on their front, you're going to make sure they're leaning through their elbows, okay? So you want to have a 90-degree angle at their elbows and at their shoulders up here as well, okay? So just like B here, we've got 90 degrees at shoulders and 90 degrees at elbows, and this will help your child to lift their head up, okay? Now, if your child's on a wedge, they can lean through their stretched out arms. It depends how big your wedge is. Right, now I'm going to give you a little bit of time to get into that position. Especially those of you with bigger children who are getting on wedges. And then in a minute, we're all going to do some swimming in this pond like ducks. Right, so I'm going to show you first, so don't worry if you're still not in the position yet. We're going to start with some swimming with our arms. Okay, so we're going to go up and out to the sides and do some swimming to give our arms and our chest a nice big stretch and to work on our back muscles. So we're going to get mum and dad to help, and we are going to go forwards with your arms and round and down into swimming, okay? So forwards and round and forwards and round into swimming. So I think we're going to need to do 10 swims in this pond because it's a very, very big pond. Okay, so all together we're going to bring those arms up and round, and we're going to do it 10 times. 1, 2, 3, really good job everyone. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. Very, very good work. Right, good swimming. I think we made it all the way across that pond. Right, so now we are going to do some swimming like the ducks. So this time we're going to use our legs, just like the ducks use their legs. And this is going to be a really nice hip stretch. and a good quad stretch, okay? So we are going to lift, we're going to have one hand on your child's hip, so don't do this together yet, I'm just showing you, and then mum and dad, you're going to pick up your child's knee, and we're going to bring that leg up to stretch the front of their hips, okay? Now make sure you don't push past resistance. We're just going to do gentle moving up and down, and we're not moving this part of the leg, we're moving the hip. Now if you've got a child with a much bigger leg, you might find their leg comes all the way up here, and you can just hook their foot around your arm, and that should help you to stabilize it. Keep your back straight. If your child's much, much bigger, you can come up onto your knees, and that will help you keep your back straight. Okay, so all together, we're going to have one hand on hips, one hand under the leg, and hook the foot round, and we're going to do 10 kicks with this leg. So we're going to move that leg up 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, good swimming, very good. And now we're going to go for the other leg. So again, one hand on the hips. If you've got a bigger child, you need to come around to the other side to keep your back nice and straight. And we're going to lift that leg up from the knee, and we're going to move from the hip, and we're going to do 10 kicks on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good work, everyone. Hello, Lucy. Oh, you're reluctant on your tummy. Lucy, we're all going to do swimming like ducks together. And I've got Esme. Oh, don't worry. If just do everything at your own pace, okay? If your child goes all stiff, maybe you can do some side lying instead. Honestly, don't worry. It's just nice to have you all joining in. And hello, Olivia and Sarah. Okay, right, the next thing we're going to do is some sitting. So we're going to bring your child off of the wedge or on their wedge and roll them over onto their back. Okay, so I'm going to show you first, and we will do it all together in a minute. So the same way as we came on the wedge, we're going to come off. So the arm that we are rolling towards needs to go up and out the way or bend underneath. And we're going to help your child from their hip and their knee, and have a pillow here if your child will bang their head. And we're just going to bring them back onto their back, or make sure you catch your child's head with your hand. Okay, so all together, we're going from your tummy, and we're going to bring you back from your hip and your knee, rolling back and onto your back. Okay, and we don't need the cushion for this one just yet. And now with your child in front of you, we're just going to do some sitting up, and we're all going to sit up like a chicken. Okay, so when you're ready, not now, just just watch me first. And we're just going to slowly come up with your child. If they don't get all the way up, that's absolutely fine. We can stay in a semi-lying position like this. So just don't push past resistance. You know your child the best. Come up into as high as sitting as you can. Okay? So all together, we're going to go from lying, and you're going to come behind your child, supporting at their head and their trunk, and with your body, if they're bigger, and shuffling forwards into sitting. And remember, you can stay in a half sitting position if that's easier for you. And then when we're upright, we are going to see if we can fold our legs, cross our legs. So either you can sit with your legs crossed like this, if you're used to doing that one, or we can have our legs out in a ring like this, with your knees slightly bent and your feet pointing outwards, okay? So whichever one is easier for you, that's what you can do. We're going to sit with our legs crossed. There we go. Okay, now when we're sitting up like this hen is going to be looking all around at the baby chicks. Okay, so if you can, then you're going to see if you can support your child from down quite low, or if your child needs support up high, that's fine, but try and get those hands as low as you can, and everything above your hands, your child is going to be working on their own core stability and their core balance, okay? And if you want a super, super challenge, then you can bring your hands onto your knees in this position. Okay, onto your knees or into your lap, and all together we are going to do some looking around for our baby chicks. So mum and dad, you can help to keep your child still with your knees around your child's pelvis, okay, and then we're going to use our hands and help your child turn from their trunk, okay, so we're not turning the whole body or our hips, we're keeping those hips nice and still with our legs. And then we're going to do some turning with our trunk and having a look at all these baby chicks in the farm. And if your child can sit on their own or with less support, then they can play with their sensory toys or their animals in this position. Okay, because turning on your own might be a little bit tricky. So we've got two options, either play with your animals in this position and see if you can sit on your own without mum and dad or with a very little bit of support, or children who need a bit more support, mum and dad, you're going to help, and we're going to do some looking to each side for a trunk stretch, or mum and dad can help you play with your sensory toys. Okay, so we're just going to do some looking at all the chickens, all the little baby chicks, and we're going to do 5 more all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Well done, everyone. Now come back and have a little rest, because that's very hard work. And while you're all resting, I'm going to show you the next thing that we're going to do, okay? So bring your child back into lying against you and just let them have a little rest, especially if they've been sitting up on their own, okay? And the next thing we're going to do is with our hands, and we've seen the farmer, so we're going to do some waving, okay? So again, this is going to be a nice stretch for our chest and for the side of our back. We're going to bring our hands up and we're going to do some waving hello, okay? So again, mum and dad, you need to help support at the hips, make sure those hips stay nice and still, and this stretch is all coming from our sides and from our arms and our chest, okay? So we're going to help your child, and again, I'm just showing you, don't do it together yet. We're going to bring those arms up and support your child's arms from down this side of the elbow, okay? And we're going to do some waving and side bending from our spine. So again, not the hips, not the whole body. Keep that nice and still, just from the spine, okay? So, are we all ready to wave to the farmer? All together now. So keeping your child's hips nice and still, we're going to bring those arms up and supporting your child's arms from this side of the elbow, above the elbow or below with our arms stretched up, okay? And we're going to do some waving. Hello, hello, farmer, can you hear us? Okay, so nice bending side to side, and after a few, you might find that you can get a little bit further for a bit more of a stretch. But just remember not to go past resistance, okay? So we're just going to do 10 waves all together, nice and slowly. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Well done, everyone. Excellent work. Now come back and have a rest on mum and dad, okay? because that was really hard work. Now we found the farmer, he heard us saying hello, and he has come and he's walking with him a cow. Okay, so we are going to next, we're going to do the cow, and we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So just resting and relaxing, and just watch me to start with. We're going to come back and guide your child's head down slowly and let them come into a lying position. And when they're in lying, exactly the same as before, we're going to go onto their tummy, okay? So one hand out to the side, one knee up, help your child at their knee and at their hip and roll over onto their tummy, okay? But first, have a little break, rest on mum and dad. Now what noise does a cow make? I wonder if we can all moo loud enough for everyone to hear. We're going to have some super strong cows, and we're going to push up through our hands and our knees into a kneeling position, okay? So for this one, if your child normally kneels with some support like a roll or a cushion or a gym ball, then you might need that one for now as well. So we're all together now. We're going to come back and let your child down into a lying position. Make sure you support their head. And if your child uses something underneath their tummy, then we're going to put this to the side where your child's tummy is. Okay, so below their arms and this area here to the side, and then we're going to roll over and onto that cushion. Or if you're going to 4-point kneel on your own for a super challenge, then we're just going to come onto the floor. And for any bigger children or teenagers we've got joining us today, you can do the same thing on your tummy or on your wedge, leaning through your arms, okay? So all together, we're going to roll onto our tummy and onto the cushion. Don't worry about kneeling yet, okay? So one leg bent up, and you're going to help your child at their hip and at their knee and over and onto the cushion. So now we should all be lying flat on our tummy on the cushion or on your wedge if you're using a wedge. Okay. Now again, I'm just going to show you, we're not going to do it yet. We're going to bend your child's knees and we're going to have their calves in between your legs. Okay, now especially if your child has got high tone, you're going to need to keep this nice and firm with a little bit of pressure on the calves, okay? Now when you've stabilised this part of your child, you can then bring back their hips at a 90-degree angle. If your child's got super high tone, then you might want to bring them back to less than a 90-degree angle to get their hips and their knees nice and flexed and break up that extension tone, okay? So, all together, we're going to come with your legs around your child's calves, okay? And make sure you're keeping these nice and still, quite firm. You might need to put your thighs a little bit on top of them. Make sure you don't put too much pressure on, depending on how old your child is. And we're going to come to the hips with your hands, and we're going to bring your child back. Okay, and remember, if your child has got lots and lots of extension tone, then you want to bring them back a little bit more. You're going to keep your leg here to break up that extension tone. And you're going to put the cushion in the right place and help your child to lean through their extended elbows in a 4-point kneeling position. Okay? If your child can get their hand flat, then encourage this with their hand flat. If their fingers are still bent, that's fine. Fingers and wrist flat is a big stretch, so make sure your child's used to doing this if you do that. Otherwise, wrist flat and fingers bent is fine. Okay? Wow, look at that. We've got some super strong animals here. Well done, everyone. So we're all going to hold this position for 10 seconds while we go moo. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Moo, moo, moo. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And back. Okay? So you can either bring your legs out and have a rest, or you can come back on mum and dad for those tiny children and have a rest on mum and dad. Okay? Good work, everyone. Just gonna have a little look. So we've got, hi Olivia and Sarah. Hello Heidi, I'm glad you enjoyed the swimming. Hello Evan, nearly 3. And Mum Lou from Selby. Hi, nice to have you with us. Hello Sarah. And hello Toby. Hi Toby, nice to see you. Good work, everyone. Right, so we are going to do the cow again, and this time we're going to see if we can do some swaying while the cow is going to be munching on all the grass around him. Now, this is really good for our arm strength and our core strength and weight bearing through those legs, and we're going to do some gentle shifting side to side in this position, okay? So, from the tummy again, all together, Mum and Dad, you're going to help to stabilize those calves in between your thighs, and then you're going to bring your child's hips back to 90 degrees and a pillow under their tummy if they need it. Make sure the pillow is high enough to support the tummy if they need to, and then leaning through those arms. Okay, really good work. And all together we're going to do some moo, and we're going to see if we can munch that grass in front of us and behind us. Okay, so we're going to do 10, and we're going to go gentle swaying. So we're swaying from bending the knees a little bit, but keep those calves still and stable in between Mum and Dad, okay? So we're going to go forwards and backwards and munching on that grass. Munch, 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 munch. And another 5, 4, moo, 3, 2, 1. Well done, good work. Right, come back and have a rest. Either come and sit on Mum and Dad or go back into lying on your tummy if you're a bigger child. Well done, really, really good work. That's a really tricky one. Oh, I'm sure you've all got tired shoulders now. We're only going to do one more of them, and then we're going to move on to the next one. Good work. Right, have a little rest. And this next one we're going to do is the same, but we're going to go sideways to munch all of that grass on the side of us. Okay, so from lying on your tummy, all together, the last one, we're going to have calves in between Mum and Dad, and then we're going to bring your child back at their hips. Remember to go a little bit further if your child's got lots of high tone, and make sure that cushion is supporting your child if they need support. Otherwise, they're going to push up all on their own. And all together, we're going to go sideways to munch all of that grass on the side. You're going to go munch, 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 sideways, and 10 all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Munch, 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 munch. Keep munching. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, well done. And have a rest. Well done, everyone. Right, while all the children are resting, I'm going to tell you about the next exercise. So now you need your surface to do some high kneeling at. Okay, so either you can use a sofa, or you can use a coffee table, or if your child's a little bit bigger, then maybe a dining chair. Okay. I'm going to use our coffee table. Okay, right, so again, just listening to me and watching me first, and then we can all do it together. So this time we're going to go into side sitting. Now, if your child has had any hip surgery or anything, then you are just going to place them in this position yourself without doing the side sitting. And if you've got a bigger child, then you might need to hoist them into this position, or you can do some sitting instead, okay? So from 4-point kneeling, or from lying on your tummy, we're going to come back at the hips and into side sitting. And you need to be side sitting right near your sofa or near your coffee table. And we don't need the cushion for this one. And If you're working with a bigger child, or if you've had hip surgery, or if you've got really high tone and this one might not be suitable for you, then you can do some sitting and join in with stretching your arms up tall in a sitting position, okay? And if you can do high kneeling, then we're going to go into side sitting next to your surface, which might be a sofa or a coffee table. And we're going to have one arm and the other arm, and we're going to come up into high kneeling, okay? Now, mum and dad, especially if your child has got less head control, you might need to kneel up behind them to help them, okay? So kneeling up behind them, and then your child can lean with their head on yours, and try to get your child leaning through their forearms, so through their shoulders and their elbow at a 90-degree angle. Okay, and this time we are all going to be some geese. So we've got to stretch up nice and tall, either on our legs in high kneeling or with our arms if we're doing sitting. Okay, so we're all going to stretch up super tall like a goose. Got loads of animals on this farm, and I'm going to help here without the surface so you can see me. And I'm going to come up nice and tall, and we're going to do a nice big stretch. And what noise does a goose make? We're going to go honk, 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 honk. Very good. And you want to keep your child's trunk up nice and tall in the middle, and make sure their bottom is tucked in so they're not bending forwards like this. Up nice and tall, and a wide base of support. If your child finds this tricky, then you can move their knees slightly further apart, and we're going to go honk, 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 honk. Well done, really good job. And if you're sitting, stretch those arms up, and we're going to hold it. And this is a really nice chest stretch. We're going to go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. And come back down into side sitting, and then bring those legs round in front of you. Wow, well done everyone. Good work. That's a super tricky one. Okay, right, the next activity and the last exercise we're going to do is sitting on the chair. Or if you have a therapy roll or a peanut ball, or if you normally use a therapy bench, then you're going to come and sit onto one of these. So if your child's bigger, then you need to hoist them. I'm going to give you a little bit of time. And this one is for a hip stretch. So if you don't have any of that equipment, sit on a normal chair or the edge of a bed or a sofa is fine. Or if you've got something we can do a hip stretch with, if your child usually straddle sits on something, then you can make it with cushions, or you can use your therapy roll, and you want to hoist your child into sitting with their legs on either side of the roll in this position. Okay, and before you hoist, you need shoes and AFOs on as well, okay? So you're going to be straddle sitting on your roll or your peanut ball, or you can be sitting on a sofa or a bench with your shoes and AFOs on, okay? Good work everyone, doing a really good job. And I'm going to give you some time to hoist or lift your child. Okay, I'm going to give you all a few more minutes just to get in the right position. Hi Dee, Gil and Amy, you're very welcome. Glad to have you joining us. Okay, now when we're all in this position, we are going to be the farmer on his tractor, okay? Now I'm just going to do some talking, so don't worry if you're not in the right position yet, you've still got a bit more time. And if you're hoisting or anything, then ignore me and concentrate on that instead. And we are going to be the farmer on the tractor feeding the animals their food. So if you've got any sensory toys or any animal food, then you can have that ready now as well. I had some lovely animal food in here, and then someone has put a Mars bar in it. Do you think we feed this to farm animals? I don't think so. I'm going to get rid of that. And we have got our animal food in a cup, all ready to give to the animals. Okay, now when you're in this position, again, I'm just telling you now, we don't need to join in just yet. You want to help your child have a hip stretch by bringing their legs from above their knees, either side, and stretching from the hips, okay? And make sure you don't push past any resistance. So we're not doing the stretch like this with feet coming out, we're coming out from the hips and from above the knees, okay? Now they're really sensitive muscles, so just make sure you don't push past resistance and that you make sure your child's not in any pain, and make sure you look at their face. And feet need to be flat on the floor. So not in front on heels or behind on toes, flat on the floor for some stability, and bringing those hips apart at the knees and above. And mum and dad, you can either be sitting on whatever it is your child's sitting on or behind them, and we're going to be supporting from hips. If your child's got a little bit of sitting balance, or up and from the head, and make sure you're right behind them if your child has poor head control. Okay, and we're going to bring your sensory food onto your lap. So all together, we're now going to make sure your child has got their feet flat on the floor, a nice wide base of support, toes pointing outwards for extra stability, and we're going to slowly see if we can bring your child's legs and their hips down either side to give a nice stretch. And supporting your child from their hips. And we're going to have your sensory food. Support your child a little bit higher if they don't have enough head control. And then we are going to see if we can feed the animals either side of us. So you can dip your hands in whatever sensory activities you've got. Have a look around. And then we're going to lean all the way to the side and feed those animals at the side of us, okay? So mum and dad, keep the hips nice and still, and we're going to be leaning over from our trunk to the side and back up again, and the other side, and feed those animals and back up. Good job. And some more food and feeding the animals on the other side and up again. Very good. And the other side. And feeding the animals. See how far you can reach. Very good. Wow, excellent job everyone. I'm sure those animals are really happy. And the other side. There we go. And reaching to the other side. And back up again. And I think we've got 3 more lots of animals to feed. Let's do 3 more all together. We're going to lean to that side and back up again. And leaning to that side and up again. And we've got 1 more. Very good. We're going to reach all the way to the side. Wow, very good job everyone. Excellent work. Now, while we're on our tractor, the last thing before we say goodbye, we are going to drive all around the field just to check everything is okay. And it's a bumpy, bumpy, bumpy field. So we are going to do lots and lots of wibbly wobbling on our tractor. So mum and dad, make sure you're still supporting your child from behind them. And we're going to do some wibble wobbles. So we're going to go forwards and back. And sideways, nice and slowly. And when you go to each side, wait for your child to bring their back to the opposite way if that's possible, or if not, make sure you're supporting your child up against you. So you're going to go wobbly, wobbly, wobbly. Wow, hard work. You've all been excellent farmers today. All the animals are fed. Wobbly, 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 forwards and backwards and side to side. Muddy, wobbly farm. We've got hay everywhere and puddles everywhere. Few more wobbles, side to side and forwards and backwards. Wow, well done, good work, and rest on mum and dad. Excellent work, everyone, really good job. Right, now the last thing we're going to do in this position is we're going to do some waving goodbye with one hand and then the other hand. So we're going to bring our arm up and mum and dad helping from this side of the elbow, and we're going to do waving, and then we're going to swap arms. So ready, all together with our right hand. Mum and dad are going to help for a big stretch and do some waving and see if you can move that wrist up and down. Goodbye everyone, well done, excellent work. And then we're going to swap arms and bring up the other one from above the elbow all the way up. Excellent work, everyone. Waving from your wrist if you can. Wow, good job. And last big wave, we're going to bring both hands up together and waving. Very good. Or you can go side to side if that's easier. Last big wave and a very, very big well done to everyone. You have all been excellent farmers. Very, very good. Well done. Right, I hope you're going to have a nice, well-deserved rest now after all that hard work. And we've got one visitor who wants to say well done. Here we go. We've got Boris here. Boris says, well done, everyone. Good work. Well done, everyone. Good work. Wow, good job, everyone. You did really, really well done. And hopefully we will see you again soon.